طيب احنا الان لايف وفي تقريبا عندنا 32 واحد، فاذا حابين تبداوا ولا بنراجع لكم. فدكتور لؤي you take over ها.
Okay, I'll give it a minute and then start.
خلاص تمام يلا.
شكرا يا عم.
العفو.
نبدأ دكتور؟
نبدأ.
Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله. I would like to thank you all for coming to this event. As you know, in the CO department, our students are our first priority. So we measure our success by the success of our students. And of course, when we say students, we don't only mean the current students, but also the past students. So we believe when you join the CO department, it's a very long commitment. We don't easily let you go. In that effort, the department has made an effort to survey our students, our past students and graduates, to learn what they're doing and how they are utilizing the knowledge that they acquired in the program, as well as see how the program itself fits the local market, so we can make proper adjustments and make informed decisions. And at the same time, we've felt that it will be very useful for our students, given that, you know, our time is, there are so many options. And we at the CO department, we try to make our students, we make our program as flexible as possible, so the students have many options. As you know, we have many electives, there are many CX programs. So to help you in deciding how to proceed and prepare yourself for the market, we thought it would be very useful to share with you some of the results of the survey. So Dr. Aiman, our chairman, is going, inshallah, to present the result of the survey. And also, after he presents the survey, we will open the floor for questions and answers. Of course, you can ask about anything related to the program, not only about the survey itself. And inshallah, it will be very useful and entertaining meeting, inshallah. تفضل دكتور أيمن.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. As Dr. Lai mentioned, so I'm here to share with you the results of this recent alumni survey that we have done last month. So to see really what our graduates are doing and which areas they are working on, and also to get an idea about their employment experience, like how often it took them to find a job. So this survey was conducted last month, and we got around 131 valid responses. And we opened it for all our alumni. So we didn't restrict the time periods to understand basically what type of areas they are working on. So I made it brief as much as possible. So we asked our students, in which year did you graduate from the computer engineering department at KFUBM? And we had responses like the 90s, 2000, basically to 2004, like in 5-year period. And you can see that the result of the survey has been distributed over basically the years from the 90s until basically 2020. So that's a good distribution. So we hear from different segments of our graduates. One important question that is definitely of concern to anybody who's joining any major is how much does it take him to find a job? So we asked this question, and 30% of the respondents said they got basically their job or first job before graduation. And that's really good news. That means there is a demand on our graduates. Even before graduation, they are being offered like some jobs Less than 3 months, we have 35%. So that means 65% are able to find a job within less than 3 months. 21%, it took them from 3 to 6 months, 10% from 6 to 12 months, and only 4%, it took them more than a year. So in summary, we can see that 86% of our graduates were able to find a job in less than 6 months, and only 14% it took them more than 6 months. In terms of like a year, 96% took them less than a year, 4% took them more than a year. Now we investigated those 4% just to find out why, I mean, not why, but what happened. And they are basically the 4% represented 5 of the respondents, and 2 of them graduated in the period 2005 to 2010, 2 graduated in the period 2011, 2015, and 1 in the last 5 years. Now, this was their first salary after finding it after 1 year. This is how they are doing now. So it's interesting that although we don't know why it took them more than a year to find a job, but mashallah, they're all doing very well today. So that's good news. That means even if any hiccups like delay people getting like jobs, eventually they end up doing very well. The majority are, we have 3 of them are getting more than 30,000 and 2 are getting above 20,000. So that means they are really successful, which is great news. We have looked at the respondents and what is the percentage of people getting between 30 and 50,000 monthly. And this was like the percentage. So the largest percentage was among those who graduated between 2000 and 2004. That represent 47% of them are getting over 30,000. Those between 2005 and 2010, 24% of the respondents are getting 30,000 and above. And those in the 90s, 18%, and 11 to 2015, 11%. 18% and 11%. So that's good. That means over time, our students or alumni are doing really well. They are able to grow and make more money in their work. Now, we also analyzed those who graduated in the last 5 years, and we can see 29% are getting between 20 and 30,000. 57%, which is the majority, are getting between 10 to 20, and less than 14% are getting less than 10,000. Usually, some of the alumni, the first job, they start low, but eventually they grow. Also, we asked them what is their current job, what type of the job they are doing. Is it purely technical? Is it like intermediate level management, first level management, or executive level? And it's interesting to see that the majority of the alumni end up basically definitely grow and end up with a manager. Of course, engineering manager, like all these managerial positions are related to engineering positions, like chief executive officer. This is the highest, of course, chief executive officer or chief technical officer, 14%, first level management, 22%, and 27%, which are intermediate level management, and 37% are doing purely technical engineering work. So that's good. That means our graduates are also basically grow and take leadership positions. The majority, now we looked at those basically that are working technical, and this is the percentage. So those who, the majority of, those who graduated in the last 5 years, it's expected that are the ones who will be doing technical work more because they need a little bit more time to grow into managerial positions.
Dr. Aiman, the sound for some reason weakens and then for a very short time, is it?
I don't know why. I think it's probably the net. It also was with you.
Oh, okay. Maybe it has to do with the network. Yeah, maybe if you can just keep very close to the microphone. So
I'm actually using the headphone. That's why it should be a problem.
Okay,
is it good now?
Yes, but sometimes it becomes.
I think I think the net probably. Okay. Though they have changed the STC, they came and changed the modem today. But I don't know. So those who are basically working, doing technical job, like as I said, 45% are those who graduated in the last 5 years, but you can see that even though some in the 90s, maybe they prefer to really do technical job and they don't prefer to do managerial jobs. So 14% of them are still doing pure engineering job, but you can see the distribution over the years. And so it shows that the majority really take those who graduated like more than 5 years. They don't just end up doing purely technical. Most of the time they end up doing managerial job kind of. So 18 of our alumni are actually holding executive managerial positions like chief executive officer or chief technical officers. But as expected, they are among the old graduates. So 8 of them graduated in the 90s, 3 graduated between 2000, 2004, and 7 between 2005 and 2010. Now for our recent graduates, which 27 that graduates who answered the survey, 22 are doing technical job and 5 are doing first level management out of those. Now we also asked them about the program educational objectives. We needed this for ABET purposes, like does the program basically prepare its graduates for a professional career as a computer engineer, or it prepares them for basically future study like graduate studies and so on, and to what degree it succeeded. And the majority said basically strongly agree or agree, 80% basically agree or strongly agree. There are some neutral and some small percentage who disagree. Now this is probably one of the most important results of the survey that will interest you, which we asked the alumni what are the areas they are working on. And we listed some areas and we listed others. And we asked them to select as many areas as they are really working on. So you can see that the majority are doing computer networks and cybersecurity now. And this is not a surprise. I mean, we have done also a survey 2 years ago and we get similar results. But you can see that also good, really large number is doing software development. And this is very key. This is like, as a computer engineer, you are not only computer networks or cybersecurity. Usually companies like an engineer to be able to do multiple tasks. And we have heard this comment actually from Aramco. In advisory board, one of the members, key members, actually managerial members in Aramco, he said, we do not want an engineer just to do one task. We want him to be ready to do multiple tasks. So some of our graduates are software development. And software is a key, actually, foundation in our program. Cloud computing is very interesting. You see 40 of our alumni are working on cloud computing. And we actually are happy to see this result because we know this and its importance. And inshallah, next year, we're going to work on developing concentration on cloud computing. Internet of Things also. Now, this is, everybody knows that this is a very important area and emerging and growing. So around 25 are working on this currently, but we know for sure that this will grow. And inshallah, next semester, we are going to start the concentration on IoT and also the master program on IoT and embedded systems. You can see some work on web development, embedded systems, hardware design, high performance computing, and data science. And some others were doing like project management, as you know, those who are doing in managerial level, they kind of like more of IT management and project management and so on. So this gives us basically some idea about the areas and how basically our graduates are working in these areas. And I hope that you can find, or you find this information useful. So this is the end of the results of the survey. So you can, if you have any questions, you can ask me.
I have a question. Why the latest majority of people, like the recent people, are getting less paid? The first
Not less
question.
paid. Usually, when you start your first salary, this is like the expectation. You don't start with 20 plus. There are some who get that, but the majority start with like around the 10.
So I have another question.
For all
The
majors, by the way, not only computer engineering. This is
I have another. Did the GPA make a difference for those people who got a high salary? I mean, my question is it matter the experience or the GPA at long term?
we didn't ask this question. However, I can tell you, high GPA should correlate with being successful. There could be some exceptions, but if you have a high GPA, that means you have excellent skills and excellent capabilities, and very likely that you will succeed. But it doesn't mean, I know of cases, like I know of a student of our graduate whose GPA was 2. He is now a chief executive officer. However, he had a lot of excellent skills. And yes, he is capable, but he was not really putting enough time to study. He is capable, but he had excellent skills, excellent communication skills. He was involved in a lot of extracurricular activities. He was very successful. So low GPA may not mean that the person is not capable, but just like maybe some people don't like to study a lot, don't like to take exams. They may not do that well. But I would say if you have high, finding better jobs, getting better offers. I mean, many of those who have high GPAs are successful and so on. You might find someone who had high GPA and was not as successful as someone who has a low GPA. So it's not only the GPA, the skills, communication skills, extracurricular activity skills, ability to self-learn and grow, motivation, lots of factors that will basically affect your growth and success in the career market.
The last question, you mentioned that Aramco manager went engineering with multiple skills. What is your tip on how to manage to learn multiple skills before graduation? Is there any tips for us for
Yes,
learning multiple skills?
by entering computer engineering, because in computer engineering, we instill in you the strong foundation in many different aspects. You have strong foundation in networking, security, hardware design, software design. So you are ready. You can do software development, you can do networking, you can do, so you are ready. Like this is basically so they don't want you to come and tell them, I am a network engineer, I can only do networking. And that's it. They don't like this. They like you to, if they ask you to do basically a web application, you should be able to. If they ask you to do basically performance analysis of their system, you should be able to do. If you want to basically develop security schemes, protection, you should be able to. So that's why strong foundation in the major is very crucial. So you might end up specializing in computer networks, but you already have a strong foundation in software. So if they want you to do some software development, you will be able to.
Another question: what is the future of the COE and KFBM in general? After like, what if my son asks me, should I go in KFBM and take the COE? Will he be? Will it be the same, or of course not? Will be the same. But what's the stuff that you will be proud to put it inside the COE, like in the future? يعني شغلات يعني تطورات باختصار.
Okay, everything around us is based on technology, IT technology, and it involves COE. Nothing, you cannot find a company today that doesn't have networking, right? Any company, hospital, bank, any type of company must have a network. So they need somebody basically to administer this network. Like we're not talking about networking design companies like IBM, Cisco, Aruba Networks. Now these will hire basically engineers who can come and design networks for other companies. But as a network administrator, as a security, like all institutions need somebody to worry about their security, the performance of basically their computers and networks and so on. So this is like one aspect. If you look at, for example, IoT, everything around us is going to be connected to the net. All devices, these need to be well-designed, well-managed, and so on. So that's why IoT is a key. And you're talking about the industrial IoT also, which is very much in need and growing. and the security of IoT systems. Look at embedded system. Every system around us today is an embedded system, has an embedded microcontroller, cars, washing machines, TVs. So innovation means computer engineering, and computer engineering means innovation. Okay, so if you really, like a lot of students would like to, because just with the embedded systems, you can design a product. Yani with the skills that you learn about embedded. So an embedded system involves also networking. You need to design a system that communicates and so on. So the future of computer engineering is very bright, and I can see it. It is one of the most interesting majors. I'm not biased. I graduated from computer engineering back in 1989, but it has full potential because you have strong foundation about any digital system, and everything around us is a digital system today. So it needs computer engineers who can basically work on these systems, optimize them, provide effective solutions. And if you look at the Vision 2030 of the kingdom, you see that we are very well positioned actually to play a key role, inshallah, in achieving the objectives of this vision, inshallah.
There is some question in the chat.
Can you, Dr. Loai, see? And
Oh, sorry, I was muted. There are some questions here that I would like to share in the chat. So people are asking about the cloud concentration. Is there a plan to make one next year?
Yeah, it will not be offered next semester. We will work on it, inshallah, next year. So it will be offered the year after. But right now we have a course on cloud and edge computing that is part of the concentration on networking. Yani we are going to start, inshallah, next semester 2 concentrations, one on computer networks. This includes a course on cloud and edge computing and one on Internet of Things.
And somebody's asking about the slides. Can they find can we share the slides with the students?
We can share them, yes, inshallah.
Okay, maybe
we'll making the presentation, but we'll make them available, inshallah.
Okay. So there is a question about, does the concentration determine the field of work?
Definitely, once you concentration means you specialize in an area and you really like to work in that area. So this is the whole purpose of creating concentrations. We would like to have students, rather than being graduated with general degree in computer engineering, that they specialize. So some of them serve the needs of the kingdom in IoT, some serve the needs in cloud computing, some serve the needs in cybersecurity, some in embedded systems. And I want to tell you that embedded systems and hardware design is needed now. There is like the military industry that is emerging in Saudi Arabia, and companies are being established. This is what they need. They need hardware design and embedded systems. Although maybe the demand is not high now, however, there's a growing demand, and they would need to hire skillful people who can help them, because embedded systems means real-time system, and that's what the military basically needs. And the computer engineers are the best, basically, people to meet these needs. Electrical engineers will meet the communication aspects like radar and so on, but in terms of like microcontrollers and achieving real-time aspects, this is what embedded systems will do, inshallah.
Okay, thank you. There is also a question about, I think this is an important one. So where the participants ask where they work, which companies, or?
Actually, we didn't ask them yet. It wasn't.
But I mean, do you have knowledge about what are the companies that we usually?
For example, some we received from Aramco, from SABIC, from Intel, from Cisco, from Aruba Networks, IBM. I mean, all the basically companies that hire our graduates.
There is also a question about which companies employ students in hardware design, embedded systems, and IoT.
As I mentioned, hardware design right now and embedded systems, they are needed in the military. There are like some, GAMI and SAMI companies established by the government to help basically this type of field. However, embedded systems, a lot of emerging companies, startups, developing basically products in each market to help basically achieve certain requirements. So as I mentioned, for hardware design, maybe the not so many basically, but it's emerging and growing. Embedded systems, lots of buzz. Any system, like for example, one of our graduate, actually co-op students did a co-op project designed from scratch until they have a product, which is like monitoring the behavior of a driver, like bus drivers, and developed a mobile application that shows basically the driver, his speed, how he reacts to bumps and so on. So they developed the whole system from scratch. It included the design of a printed circuit board using microcontrollers, sensors, the networking aspects, the mobile application software. So you can see the whole system, include the power basically to drive basically those microcontrollers. All aspects of a system, they did it, and it was done in a co-op, and it was an interesting project. So such types of applications that could be innovative, and people could do this. So this is one aspect. However, as I mentioned, the military, lots of application. If you look at, for example, a smart meter that is done by advanced electronic companies, which measures basically the power consumption at all houses, this is basically an embedded system solution that they have done, which basically is the main job of computer engineers. So there could be lots of such applications that, depending on the company needs and so on, they will be using that. High performance computing, as you know, like Aramco, for example, Intel, these are the companies that you have heard probably about the MAM7 supercomputer that was established here in the Dhahran Techno Valley, which is basically a high performance computer. So these are like the type of companies that are worrying about these things.
I am also, personally, I know many students who have been hired by new entrants into the market. As you know, because IoT is growing, there are many companies who are coming to serve the local market. So they need people in IoT in order for them to help them establish, you know, a good presence here in the kingdom. There is a question about, is it true that embedded system graduates work with the government mostly, not with private companies?
We do not have such information, but actually our knowledge is some of our graduates are working with government companies, you know, like those that are military related and so on, where they do basically type of special services, but some are working in private companies, definitely.
Okay, well, Mubashir is asking here, what level of education would you advise students to go for? Is bachelor enough, or should they aim for master and PhD?
Bachelor is good enough, but it depends on your motivation. If you're really capable, I would advise you to continue at least to a master. Definitely, PhD is worth it. It's an investment on yourself. If you actually go in the US, I worked in a company in the US for 3 years. It's kind of strange, like most of the people who work in the company are PhD holders. So we rarely find someone with a bachelor actually in the company, especially except those who are doing sales or marketing and so on. Even the technical marketing manager was a PhD holder in electrical and computer engineering. It's because he is not the manager marketing, he is technical marketing. So he has to know the technology and so on to market the product. So in the US and basically such kind of advanced companies, you will find the majority are PhD holders. However, in our basically third world, bachelor is usually sufficient. But if you look at, if you really want to go to high positions, like usually PhD helps. Like after getting a PhD, that's going to open the floor for you to really have very high leadership, but not necessarily Taban, but it really helps.
Yeah, thanks you. Thanks, Dr. Aiman. There's a Hassan is asking, does the concentration restrict my work field?
How could it restrict your field? And as I said, concentration means specialization. Remember that you will have a strong foundation to start with, regardless of the concentration. And for example, if you look at the computer engineering program, the new program, if you look at networking, you have strong foundation. You take data communication, computer networks, and network security, 3 courses. If you look at the hardware design, you have strong foundation. You take digital logic, digital system design, embedded systems, computer organization architecture, and circuits and electronics. So you have a strong foundation in hardware. If you look at software, you have strong foundation. You take Python, you take Java, you take data structures, and you take the operating system. So you already have the strong foundation. And then now you decide, like after you got all that basic foundation, where do you want to? So shall I specialize, dive more into IoT, dive more into computer networks, maybe cybersecurity? As you know, as of today, inshallah, as of next semester, computer engineer students have 7 concentrations open for them. So they can enroll in any one of them. And these include the Internet of Things concentration, computer networks, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, robotics, quantum computing, and data science. So any of those 7 concentrations, you can enroll in them without any problem. The only one that would require you to take an extra course is the robotics. You have to take the linear control systems as a prerequisite. For the remaining 6, they are open for you. You don't have to, you are ready, you don't have to take anything. So you just like have to choose which one you like, and hopefully that you'll be granted, because not every student is going to be given the concentration that he desires. It's going to be competition among all the students. As you know, there will be limited seats for each concentration. So departments are going to select basically the best students who meet the criteria in every concentration.
Yeah, well, there are many questions, so I'll try to go faster. Thank you for Adnan for cheering up for COE. So Abdurrahman's asking, should we focus on software?
What does he mean, focus in software?
I'm not sure if he means focus in the sense that leave hardware, like.
I mean, as I mentioned, you see, software, the courses you take are going to give you a strong foundation in software. You will be ready to do software development. For example, the web type of development is going to be covered in the cloud and edge computing if you specialize in the computer networks concentration. But you already have the strong foundation. You will have Python, you will have Java, you will have data structure. So you are going to take 3 courses in programming in addition to the operating system. This should be really sufficient. The remaining is going to be like skill development that you have to do on the need basis. Now, learning will never stop. Whenever you go to the job market, you will continue to learn and improve on yourself. So definitely you would want to have a strong software foundation, because remember, computer engineering is not about hardware. Computer engineering is about designing digital systems, which means you should be capable of developing or understanding all the aspects of a digital system: hardware, software, networking, communication aspects, and security to protect your system. And you have that as part of the foundation.
I think this also answers Abdurrahman's other question, where he asked about should we invest time in software skills outside the major? And I think Dr. Aiman has also answered this. Now, there is a question about concentrations. Are the seats limited? And if limited, what are the requirements to get into concentrations?
Yes, inshallah, soon you will receive from basically our dean. He is sharing the concentrations across the university. You will receive basically email asking students who will be senior next semester to select basically the concentrations that they need to enroll. I think there will be maybe 30 concentrations offered across the whole university. And you have to choose like 4 preferences: preference 1, preference 2, 3, and 4. Now, you may not be given like the preference. Now, basically the concentration basically committee are going to look at the preferences and somehow give to the departments the list of the preferences. I mean, let's say we have, for example, 100 students interested in enrolling in Internet of Things. We cannot accept all of them. So the recommended actually number is to accept between 25 and 27 in IoT, which means there will be competition. So now what we will do, for example, we will look at those interested in IoT and make sure that, okay, they all satisfy the requirements. يعني مثلا computer electrical engineering, we have opened it for them, but they have to take computer network, COE 344. So if a student is interested but did not take, he will not qualify. Similarly for system engineering students. Now, if you look at computer science and software engineering, if they're interested in Internet of Things, they must take basically electronics course, which is either the old course or the new course. Now, if they did not take that, they will be basically removed. They cannot basically fulfill that. So for IoT, COE has advantage, like because you are ready, you don't have any such constraints. So most likely you will be given preference in this because you'll meet the criteria. Now, if we have, let's say, 50 students and all of them meet the criteria, then we might, and all of them want like, then we might select based on GPA. So those who have the highest GPA, because we have to be fair, I mean, we have to select according to some criteria. We cannot select someone and not select the other because the university told us only one section per concentration.
Maybe it's also good to advise students, if you are interested in certain concentrations, consult with your advisor to make sure you are prepared ahead of time.
Yes.
Sometimes you need to take prerequisites, so plan it ahead. Don't wait until, you know, the semester before the CX. It may be too late.
Maybe
there's a question.
I should give you, maybe I should give you a tip. It might help you. I don't know if I should, but like if you really, if you really want, for example, let's say IoT or computer networks and nothing else, don't put 4 choices. Just like put choice 1 and choice 2. Hopefully this might help, because if you put more choices, you may end up getting choice 4.
But see, isn't there a chance maybe none of them will be chosen? And then
exactly, that's a risk. I don't know, but you see that, from what I heard from what the university did last year, they tried to balance the concentrations of and so on. So maybe, for example, nobody chooses concentration X and you chose it as choice 4 because you chose it as choice 4. Nobody else chose it. You will be selected.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a very
Let's hope. Yeah, it's not an easy thing, but I think okay, maybe we can give preference to for the IoT and computer networks, or let's say for the computer networks at least we can give preference to CU students maybe, or give quota. خلينا نقول يعني مثلا more should be from computer. I don't know. It's not easy. We have to think and decide really.
Yeah.
Criteria, but we haven't yet came to.
Well, maybe it's fair it's fair to say, because this is starting now. Those who are going to take the first batch, and you have an advantage. So take an advantage of this, because I think as time goes, the competition will be higher because there will be more number of students.
So we hope that we can accommodate all those who are interested. We hope that the students by themselves distribute and we end up accepting all those who are interested. This is our wish, but we don't know what will happen. Let's wait and see. But definitely, we have, just to tell you, we have done a survey for all the basically university graduates, and IoT is going to be like of high demand, definitely.
Now, maybe a question that's related. I'll go to the list, but because we're talking about CX. Now, if a student did not get into his, favorite concentration, can they take elective courses from the concentration, individual courses?
Okay, that's a very good question. طبعا, if you do not, you don't have to enroll in first. You don't have to enroll in a concentration. You can go with what's called the vanilla program and choose your electives. However, the risk of doing this is that you may not guarantee a seat. مثلا, let's say we accepted in the Internet of Things concentration, it was of high demand, and we accepted 30 on the concentration. These will be enrolled in the section. Now, how many seats will be left for others?
Okay, that's a good way to look at it. There is a question about professional masters. Could you comment on? I'm not sure if the question is what are the professional masters, or whether you think a professional master is useful for students or not in the marketplace.
طبعا, this is part of KFBM vision. You need the professional master was created with the objective to retrain the current workforce. That's why they were created like to be in 1 year, so that basically those who are working can come and take that master quickly in 1 year and really enhance their skills and knowledge and so on, and go serve the market. This is the main purpose of it. Definitely it is worth it. Yani if I am a student today, I would go and take it. Like in 1 year, I'll get a master and definitely grow my knowledge and skills. And that's going to help you grow in your career very quickly also. So it is worth investment. We are going, inshallah, to offer 3 MX programs starting next semester. Again, 1 on computer networks, 1 combining Internet of Things and embedded systems, and the 3rd one on high performance and cloud computing. This will start, inshallah, next semester.
There's a question by Hamza. Is it true that international companies like Intel require applicants to have master degrees?
I don't think so. Yani, for example, the head person not in Saudi Arabia, but in the whole region, I think in Middle East, is Ahmed Al-Jishi. He is a computer engineering graduate. He is leading the high performance computing and doing great. And he used to be with IBM also before that. He does as a master.
Now there is a question here. It sounds political, but I'll read it. What's the department perspective on the president's aim to increase undergraduate research? I think this is not a president, per se. We started undergraduate research many years ago. Will the department take steps to increase opportunities for students to take part in research?
طبعا, you see, there is a challenge here. We started offering the undergraduate research course 2 years ago, and we have excellent success stories. Dr. Flimban, I supervised 1 student, and those resulted in really good, excellent work and publications. The problem is that now we expect the majority of students to go to concentrations. Now, when they go to concentrations, they don't have a room to take the undergraduate research course. Because you see, the undergraduate research course is supposed to be taken as a COE elective. Now, if you go to the concentration, the concentration course, actually, no, I'll take it back, sorry. What we did, that was the initial thought. Now, what we did, we mapped the concentration courses to 3 COE major electives and 1 technical elective. So all students who are enrolled in the concentrations will have 1 COE elective. And that COE elective could be taken as an undergraduate research. So definitely we encourage students, those who are excellent really and interested in research, to enroll. And it's very easy. Basically, all you have to do is just like talk with a faculty member about your research interest. And then you agree together, come up with an idea and a proposal, and then we open a section for you with the instructor that you agreed with, and that's it. So you take that course. We have done it like 3 times, and it was successful, alhamdulillah. So actually the new setup is that undergraduate research still can be taken by students, and the course exists. So all you have to do is just like find the faculty and just talk together and come up with a proposal.
What about the professional master? Is it worth taking it? So we cannot go to PhD. I don't know if he means. Is it as much important as PhD? Like, is it the same weight, or maybe? If I understood this correctly.
You see, for the Saudi market, a professional master is definitely worth it. It's gonna give you like more edge and. Basically more skills and so on. When you work with the company, your salary scale will be different and so on. Now, those who go to PhD are not many, like usually those who want to continue academia, or they want to really take leadership in companies. But you don't find a lot of people here in the country who have PhDs. But as I said, if you really want to grow and take leadership, when I'm talking about leadership, means high positions in the country, PhD is worth it. even if you don't want to academia. If you look at like most presidents of companies, you will find them having PhD.
There are a question about quantum computing. Are there companies that employ in quantum computing in the country?
Quantum computing, you know, the university started the concentration in MX. I'm not sure about, there are applications and so on, but this is a technology that is still growing. So I'm not really sure about what is really there in the market for quantum computing, although we heard the president saying that STC president mentioned that they need quantum computing and so on. So it will definitely have some applications, but I would say not at a widespread scale currently. It will grow over time.
There's a question about online. Will the COE utilize the online courses in the I think future after 1 year of online classes? I think we're planning to go back physical, right?
Yeah, we missed the physical, but I think I mean, this experience that everybody went taught everybody a lesson, because you know, people were hesitant about online and its effectiveness. I think people, both students, faculty, and university administration, realize the potential of utilizing online technology. As you know, this is like a decision that has to be done by the university. But I'm a fan of, let's say, hybrid learning and all these new utilizing technology in learning, definitely. So we'll see how things will go.
Are concentrations designed to focus on applied skills or theory?
Actually, concentrations and even the professional master programs are more about applications and basically what the job market needs. Definitely, there are like, for example, because I just taught like deep learning last semester. When deep learning is taught, you cannot just like talk about libraries and use of tools and so on. You need to understand where things are coming from, how it works, how they were invented, to have a solid foundation. So a mix is important, because at the end of the day, you don't want just to be a user. You want to understand things so that you can innovate. If you understand the principles of things and how they work and how they were created, you will have a chance to innovate and improve things. If you're just a user, you will continue to be a user. So it's important that in any course that is given, that a mix of foundations and applications, definitely.
Questions, mashallah, keep growing. The counter increases, but I'll try to go as fast. Regardless of the GPA, do you think the COE has a better chance compared to other majors in employment?
It's hard to say that COE is better than mechanical engineering. As you know, everyone serves the different market segments, but I remember like in the career day that was done over the past 2 years, I think COE was among the top 2 demanded in terms of other majors. But every major definitely has a chance, I mean, to fit and serve in segments and industry.
And I think students also need to realize that you make yourself by customizing your experience. I mean, the skills you have, people will look at your skills and what courses you have. It's not only a GPA, and by itself is not a full indicator. It's a good indicator, but I mean, there are other things that will be looked at as well.
Definitely. That's why students, you know, you don't have to just lock down yourself in the room and focus on the books and courses and do really great and have GPA. You're going to lose something, because you have to participate in extracurricular activities, because that's going to give you different types of skills that you will not get just from studying and doing well in exams and so on. So it's crucial that you enhance your communication skills, hands-on skills, debugging skills, and so on. All these sometimes come from extracurricular activities when you work in competitions as part of teams. These are as important as basically the courses that we give. Participating in clubs, IEEE, all these types of things.
There is a hypothetical question. If a student takes a concentration in junior year, can he take another one in the in the senior year?
it's not allowed actually for students in the junior year to take concentrations unless they are ahead of their, because at the end, you have to replace the 3 major electives and 1 technical elective by the concentration courses. So the university will not allow you just to stay to take extra courses. My understanding is that if you have to take any extra course, it has to be 1 course per semester. So you wouldn't have the chance. The president doesn't want actually us to delay the graduation students. We want you to graduate as soon as possible, to head to the market, to basically serve the market and help basically in improving the economy and fulfilling the requirements of the country.
There's a question I think we answered before. It's about what courses to take to ensure I get enter a concentration. I think it depends on the concentration. So every concentration has, there
as
are
I
concentrations with them. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, as I mentioned, we have 7 concentrations open for computer engineering. If you finish the core courses, you can enter into 6 of those concentrations. The only one that would require you an extra course, it is the robotics concentration. You have to take a course called Linear Control Systems. I think it is CISE 305. So if you are interested in robotics and you like to enter into this, you have to plan to take that course before you are in, and you take it, for example, in 2nd semester junior. So then you are ready. All other 6 concentrations don't need anything. Like by finishing the core courses in COE, you are ready. You can enter into them without any issue.
There's a student asking, Khalid here, is if a student was not successful to get into a concentration, what other options does he have? Co-op or what?
No, مثلا, if you put your 4 preferences, you will be given one of them for sure.
Okay.
No, if you listen to my advice and put 2, you may not end up with it might maximize. Now you see, okay, because maybe a student enroll in a concentration and then he doesn't do well and he drops a course. Then he's out of the concentration, then he follows the vanilla program. So now that might put you in a risk in losing some of the courses if they cannot map. Let's say you entered into the AI concentration and you took, for example, machine learning and deep learning. Now you didn't like deep learning and dropped it. Now what happens? You are out of the concentration. You cannot come because it's a cohort system. Now what happens with the machine learning course? Now, okay, it will map to COE elective, to a technical elective. And now you continue as a regular computer engineering student. Now you have to take 4 COE electives. So as we said, co-op and internet and internship students cannot go into concentrations because they do not have sufficient courses. And the university doesn't want students to take extra courses and delay their graduation. That's why it didn't open it for them. However, even those in summer training, they can choose not to go into concentrations. We'll try to help them in terms of CE courses in giving them, but we do not guarantee to give every student every course he wants because we are going to give priority to those who are enrolled in the concentration.
There's a question, is there a case where there will be no 400 XX courses to take?
No, if you look at next semester, for example, you will see that we are offering CO 405, okay? The digital system design. We are offering the RFID. We are offering the network security. All these can be taken as CO elective. In addition, we have the introduction to smart systems. We have the Internet of Things. We have the, is Internet of Things next semester or the after? Dr. Lai?
Yes.
Is the IoT next semester?
No, the semester after, second
semester. So we have smart systems. We have computer network design. I think these are the ones we have. These are the ones for we have data privacy that is serving the cybersecurity. It's a CA course. We have, what else? I think these are the ones. So you will have a selection of 6 COE courses that you could take as COE elective if you did not basically enroll in a concentration. We'll try, as I mentioned, we'll try to accommodate you, inshallah, as much as we can for those not in concentration and would like to take it as elective.
Do you advise to take professional master immediately after graduation?
Well, this is not an easy question. Sometimes, you know, when I was a student, we used to debate, is it better to go to the work environment and then come back and do master and PhD, or is it better to do it one shot and so on? And some people see that one shot is better and then go to the work, and some people do. If you're interested to do master, I would go one shot, like graduate, and take the master. You will get discount, I think, because you are KFBM graduate. And you finish with 1 year, you have a master, then you will have a better job entry level than maybe if you just start job right away. So it's 1 year and you are still in it, you are fresh, you take the master and you graduate. Within 1 year, you have a master and you enter the market. بس ممكن واحد مستعجل يبغى يتزوج مثلا. You want to marry, so you have to get a job and save some money. So it all depends.
There is a question about, since we have 1 year worth of online videos for COE courses, are you planning to collect these for to make them available for students in the future?
Actually, if you go to Microsoft Streams, I think all the faculty who use that, I don't know about others, you can make them. All my videos available, for example, in all the courses I taught with our CO2 or deep learning, they are available to all the KFBM public. Now we can ask faculty to also make their courses, those who are using Microsoft Teams. I think the majority are using Microsoft Teams. We can ask them to make them available. But if you go to Streams, I think you'll find most of them.
A student is asked about the code for the research course. Now, how does a student register maybe for the course?
COE 497. Now, this doesn't get open like this. As I mentioned, if you're interested to take this course, all you have to do is to talk with the faculty that you want to work with in a research. So let's say you are interested to work in Internet of Things, you go talk with Dr. Luai and tell him, I'm interested to do some research in this. Do you have research ideas? You discuss together, he will give you an idea. And then if you agree, then Dr. Luai will request the department to open this course for him and tell us, shall we open it for this student only or for this number of students, or open it to whoever is interested. So we can do it basically, either open it for a single student or a number of students, or open it for as many students interested. So we can support all types of scenarios.
There is a question about, is there an IoT elective course outside the concentration that the students who don't get into the concentration can enroll in?
Yes, because you say all students who enroll in a concentration will have a COE elective to take. Now that COE elective could be the undergraduate research, for example, or it could be any other.
Oh, no, the question was about IoT. So I mean, maybe to answer the course, the IoT course, it is the concentration course. But now you can, a student from outside the concentration can enter based on availability, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, well, there are so many questions about GPA. I don't know why. How can we know the prerequisites for all the concentrations?
Right now, we don't have a GPA prerequisite. I haven't heard anybody actually putting a GPA as a prerequisite. What's required is that you have to be, you have finished all the prerequisite, basically required by that concentration, if there are any, like prerequisite for a concentration. You have to be in a senior year, or I think in the second junior year, and by the time you finish basically the certain number of hours, so you are ready basically to take the concentration courses, so you can map them to your major electives. I'm not sure, I have it written, but definitely you have to be in the senior year. There is an exception for juniors, but I don't recall now what was the exact phrase that was put. But that's it. Of course, the most important criteria is that the concentration has to be open for you. And let's say electrical engineering department decided that they don't want to open Internet of Things for their students. Then that's it. Electrical engineering students will not be able to take IoT. So any concentration has to be approved by the department to be open for their students in order for them to be able to enroll. If the department doesn't approve a concentration to be given to their students, they cannot enroll. So the most important criteria is that that concentration should be open for the major in which the student belongs. Then the second important criteria is that the student meets all the concentration prerequisites, if there are any. And the third criteria is he has to be, by the time starting the concentration, a senior student. These are the key. There is no, I haven't seen any GPA requirements. Maybe, I don't know, in the future it might come. Some people want to but because, it's going to be competitive,
yeah, if students also want to learn about specific concentrations, I suggest you speak to your advisor to see how you can better.
You can find information, definitely your advisor will give you, but you can find all information about concentrations in cx.kfubm.edu.sa.
Yeah, but I don't think the new ones are there yet.
They should be updated, yes. Not everything updated, but once they are approved, I'm sure they will be updated also.
There's a question about when should I apply for CX, first semester or second semester?
Now, as I mentioned, all students are going to get an email from basically the Dr. Adil, who is sharing the concentrations.
The senior students, right?
I mean, yeah, definitely. Those who will be senior in next semester. So they will receive and they will be asked to fill their information and to fill their preferences. So that exercise is going to happen every year. So if you are currently a junior and you are going to become senior, you will be among those who will receive.
Question, you mentioned 6 programs, 6 CX programs we can enter, COE can enter without prerequisites. Does this apply for the new and the old students?
Yeah, now, as I mentioned, 7 concentrations are open, including the new. We have computer networks, IoT, these are offered by us. And we have the cybersecurity, we have the AI, we have the robotics, we have the data science, we have the quantum computing and the quantum computing. Robotics is the only one that needs a prerequisite that our students do not take. So they have to take it before they can enroll in the robotics CX.
Abdul Majid is sad here. He says he is graduating next term and the IoT course will be offered the second semester. So can we have an IoT course in the first semester?
Okay, 2 conditions. Now, if we have enough number of students who want to take the course and if Dr. Lai is willing to teach it, I'll be more than happy to offer it. As a separate.
Yeah, I think one thing to encourage students, if there is a chance you can take the master, there will be a master program in IoT and it will have, an IoT course and also much more. So
exactly, and you never lose a chance. If, for example, you're graduating, you can enroll in the MX program. It's gonna have all the courses and much more that we have in.
So by this we reach the end of the question list. Well, thank you, Dr. Aiman. It's also 9, so I don't want to hold people more. I would like to thank you, Dr. Aiman, for the informative answers. I would like to thank everyone for the rich questions, very important questions we got. I really appreciate all your typing skills. It shows that our students, mashallah, are very fast typers. I was not able to catch up with the questions. Dr. Yahya, thanks for him for arranging the meeting and also answering some of the questions. We are very open to listening from you. If you have any more feedback, you have more questions, we will be more than happy to entertain your questions. And we also will take this opportunity, since this is our last event for the semester and also for the year. First of all, would like to congratulate you for شهر رمضان. إن شاء الله يعم علينا وعليكم بالخير والبركة. We also would like to thank you for your presence during the semester. We promise you, inshallah, next year to continue this events. We'll have, inshallah, more seminars next year. And well, there is Tariq would like to ask a question. So let me give him a chance now before we close. Since اتفضل طارق.
السلام عليكم. في حال طالبين قدموا على concentration، المفاضلة تكون بالتخصص ولا بالمعدل؟
زي ما قلت احنا حاليا we haven't set a criteria غير انه we will get the list and then filter all those who meet the criteria. فالآن let's say we ended up in 50 طالب meeting the criteria for IoT. Now we have to select maybe from the 50, maybe let's say 27 or 30 maximum. We cannot select because we have to keep room also for some students who are outside the concentration, like, co-op and so on, don't have a chance to enroll in the concentration. So we need to give them a chance, some seats for them. Now, let's say we decided to select 27. Now, how are we going to select those 27 out of 50? Now we have to look now. We haven't yet decided, but we are going to discuss this and debate it and so on. So we will see, inshallah, depending on the need. So maybe GBA, maybe we give preference to COE, for example, students who want to enter into networking and IoT. So we have to see really what is the best criteria that we can select.
Okay, well, there is of course a question about students who are graduating. You're always welcome to stay connected to the department. Inshallah, we'll have since we started this online event, I think this will give us a chance to continue, inshallah, doing similar events, connect to students online in meetings and also in seminars. Well, it's time for exams. I know everyone is going to be busy soon, so I wish you all the best, inshallah, in your exams and end of semester. The recording, as Dr. Yahya said, is available also on YouTube for those who would like to recap. Dr. Aiman will arrange, inshallah, for the slides to be also shared with you so you can benefit. And again, thank you and have a good night.
Doctor, I have a last question. I'm concerned. You said not everyone going to take all the concentration. I was concerned maybe I couldn't manage to get the concentration. I really want, but you said that not everyone have the opportunity to take it. I'm concerned really. I really adore the idea. Is it another solution for the lack of numbers?
We will خلينا نشوف يعني احنا we hope. See from the survey that we did, it seems that inshallah we'll be able to serve all students who are interested. We don't know يعني how things once the concentration and so on, how many will be interested. يعني if we for example reach very high in demand, let's say 100 students want the IoT concentration, then we can maybe go to the university and discuss the issue of opening 2 sections, although the Dr. Adel said only 1 section per concentration and so on. But we will see, and inshallah we will, you see, my top priority is serving the students. We do not want any student to lose an opportunity and so on. Yeah, but at the end of the day, we have limited resources and we have to try to optimize and so on. So inshallah, we will see how we can best manage this together, and inshallah at the end everybody will be happy. I would like also say at the end, thank you all for you taking this time. I know this is a busy time. If you have any concern, any suggestion, do not hesitate to contact me, and we would like to hear from you, because you see your feedback helps us in improving the way we do things, and so it's very crucial that we listen to you. So you are very welcome to basically let us know your concerns, your suggestions for improvement, anything.
Well, thank you, Dr. Aiman. Thanks, everyone. Then think Dr. Yahya is going to end the meeting.
طيب جزاك الله خير يا دكتور. طيب يا شباب كلنا نفتح المايكات، كلنا نفتح المايكات على اساس هذه اخر محاضره، صيحه كذا في الاخير. يلا كلنا نفتح المايكات يا شباب، يلا كلنا نفتح المايكات، نبغى نعمل صيحه كذا.
يلا
نبغى نقول 1 2 3 نقول COE. يلا احسن تخصص ايش هو؟ COE اب. يلا الله يعطيكم العافيه، الله يعطيكم العافيه، وكل عام وانتم بخير، ونشوفكم ان شاء الله في انشطه قادمه، وتمسون على خير. السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.